Yo, 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 what is up, everybody? Welcome to another exciting episode of the Road to Liberty podcast on the Think Liberty Network. It's Monday night, and we're doing another episode of Better Know a Caucus. You remember that series, right? Last year, we talked to representatives of the various Libertarian caucuses and one Republican caucus that make up the Libertarian Party. So far, we've done the Republican Liberty Caucus, the Libertarian Mises Caucus, the Pragmatic Caucus, the Atheist Caucus, and today we're having a special new episode. We have a representative with the Libertarian Christian Caucus joining us today, and Ms. Helen Gilson. Ms. Gilson, thank you for coming on the program.
And thank you for having me.
All right, so as a part of this caucus, we've wanted to get representatives from a wide variety of people within the Libertarian Party, get their perspectives, to figure out what their goals are and what they hope to achieve within the Libertarian Party. So you're a representative of the Christian Libertarian Caucus. So I guess first of all, why did you feel that the Libertarian Party needed a Christian caucus, and what do you hope to achieve with it?
Well, it started in New Orleans at convention. Actually, Victor Hinojosa and I were sitting next to each other. He was an alternate, or he actually was filling our delegation from Texas, even though I'm from Ohio. And we just realized we were both Christian, and we prayed for each other for things at convention and kept in touch, praying for each other for things going on in our lives, and just texted each other occasionally. And we just realized that there was a need for a place for people that are not sure about the Libertarian Party, and they don't know if there's a place for them if they're a Christian. And that's kind of where we came from, just being Christian at convention and being libertarian. So our mission is trying to see the Libertarian Party through the eyes of Jesus, and helping the Libertarian Party see Christ in Christians. So that's pretty much what we do.
All right, so what would be the defining issues that set you apart from other caucuses in the party?
It probably isn't the one that everyone is going to think that it is. I'm sure most people are going to assume that we're trying to regulate abortions or get rid of gay marriage or something. That's not what we're about. We're libertarians and Christians. So we firmly believe that those two things go hand in hand, because I firmly believe if Jesus was here on earth right now, he would probably be a member of the Libertarian Party, if not an anarchist that didn't want to formally be part of the Libertarian Party, and would just be doing the things that we're doing.
Absolutely. So I guess I had the Atheist Caucus on a few months ago to talk about their caucus, and the biggest thing people wanted to know about them was, were they openly hostile towards religious people? Right. So I guess the same question applies to you guys as well, is how do you guys plan to get along with atheists in the party, and what's your relationship with other caucuses?
Well, I think they pretty much have ignored us up till now because we're so new. I don't know that they even know that we exist. We're just starting to get formed. We've had a few bumps. In fact, if you have a contact for Michael Heisey, if you can get him to give me a call, somebody that has experience setting up a caucus from the beginning, the financials and setting up so that you can support candidates and the party for ballot access issues. We're having trouble getting set up at banks. We've tried 3 banks here in Ohio. We incorporated here first, and they turned us down. And my treasurer is actually someone that's in the credit card processing business, and he has connections, relationships with banking institutions, and he had trouble getting an account started in Texas. So they actually opened one based on him being the signer, and until we could all be there in person at convention. And then 5 days after they opened the account, their corporate office shut it down, said that they can't do that. So we're still without a bank account, even though we have people that want to donate and have donated. We just have checks we can't cash, literally.
Now, is that because you're a political organization that you're having that trouble?
I think the banking industry is so overregulated right now, and politics, especially in the banking industry. I think when they see libertarian and Christian at the same sentence, it's going to freak people out. So they don't want that to happen. They don't want the, Catholic Democrats and the Christian Republicans to leave their party. They want to keep, the Black Christians in the Democratic Party, and they want to keep the Catholics in the Democratic Party, and they want to keep the, rest of everybody, the Christians across the country, whatever flavor they are, they want to keep them in the two legacy parties. They don't want to see those people be welcomed into the Libertarian Party.
So why did you think that the Libertarian Party is the best place for your caucus, right? Why not the Republicans? Why not the Democrats? Why did you choose the Libertarian Party?
Well, I believe less government, and can't get in line with socialism. I can't get in line with the build a wall, bordertarians. That's not me. I believe that we are supposed to love everybody, and everybody means everybody. And we don't always have to like everything they do. I don't like Trump. I don't hate him. It's really hard to like him. I wouldn't, send someone out to kill him or anything. But I just would never be able to vote for him, and I'll never go back to the Republican Party after they've had him as their president.
So were you a member of the Republicans before that, or have you always been a member of the Libertarian Party?
Nope. I was new in 2016 with the Johnson Weld campaign. I came on as a volunteer, getting ballot access in Ohio for Gary Johnson, and just stayed with the Ohio Party after that, and went to convention in 2018 in New Orleans, and stayed involved.
A lot of caucuses, what they'll do is they'll organize in favor of specific candidates. They'll lobby to get certain planks added to the platform, or some just exist to make a certain demographic feel more comfortable in the party. So what are you hoping to achieve?
Oh, gosh. I think there's a little bit of all of that in there. Just making anyone that wants less government feel welcome in the party. So it doesn't have to be a Christian. I just want to make sure that I don't believe that we need to water down the libertarian message and to have the big umbrella libertarianism. I think the I'm that libertarian was a brilliant speech because it's everybody, every way that you can be a libertarian. I think that for us, we're going to want to present at convention. We have a double table. The Libertarian Christian Institute, I don't know if you've ever had an opportunity to have Dr. Horn on, but Norman Horn is the president of the Libertarian Christian Institute. And he very graciously supported our caucus table and is having a double table with us at convention. It's the first time that they, as an organization, will be at a table in convention. So it's kind of cool because they do more of the religious side and apologetics, if you will, for libertarianism, and do a lot of great articles and research and that kind of thing. But what I see our caucus doing is more the political side. So, door knocking, answering questions for candidates. So a candidate may be in a very conservative area and not know how to respond to some questions from their Christian constituents. So that would give them some place that they could go and talk to a Christian and say, well, how are most Christians going to think about this issue? That kind of thing.
Okay. Do you see yourselves endorsing any of the candidates?
We don't have a formal way of doing that right now, but we will have to. I can only tell you who I personally like. I can't give you an endorsement for the caucus because we don't have a procedure for that yet. I'm just to let you know what else I've got going on. I'm also campaign manager for a congressional candidate here in Ohio for Congressional District 1. His name is Kevin Kahn. So Kahn 4, the number 4, Congress. If you want to go check out Kevin and have him on sometime, we'd love to have him on. So.
Oh yeah, definitely. We're always trying to get libertarian candidates for various positions on the show. We've got a small platform, but we like to use it to get the word out about libertarians across the country and help them out in what small way we can.
Well, I see in our chat room here, we've got Oscar Herrera, and he's one of our Ohio candidates. So if we get a chance, let's try to get Oscar on your show. So you might want to grab him. He would be a great person to have on your show.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So I think the biggest question people are going to have for any Christian caucus in the Libertarian Party is going to be about that one issue that all libertarians love to fight about, and that, of course, is abortion.
You're not going to convince me that there's only one issue that libertarians want to fight about.
Oh, no, there's a lot, but if I were to pick 2 issues that libertarians like to fight about, it's immigration and abortion. Those are like the 2 ones that they love to fight about the most. So I try not to talk about it too much on this show. But I have the Christian caucus on the show, so I have to ask the question. What is the caucus's stance on it? And do you have like a caucus platform? And would you seek to influence the national party's platform at the convention?
Wow, there was a lot of questions in there. So first, we do not have an official platform for the caucus. We do have some people that have worked on some thoughts in the background, kind of spitballing, I guess is the best way to put it. I would say I can only tell you my personal, because right now, since we don't have anything official for the caucus, I'm kind of in the line of Walter Block. If you've ever looked at how he looks at it, the evictionist kind of theory. Have you heard of that before?
Yes, I'm aware of the evictionist argument.
So if you look at it that way, if we had been doing that since 1970, whatever, when the Roe v. Wade came along, a lot of babies would have been saved. If we had been following libertarian philosophy since the Roe v. Wade passed, we would have saved a lot more babies than the Republicans have tried. And all the Republicans and Democrats have done is use abortion as a way to beat people over the head and corral them into their party. They're not moving the needle one way or the other. The Democrats are not making it more accessible, and the Republicans are not keeping people from it. You can still get an abortion. It may not be easy in some places. And there's not a lot of limitations on even how far into the pregnancy. You can still get late-term abortions. If you were following libertarian philosophies, those wouldn't be problems.
So does the caucus have any plans to try to influence the party's platform at some point in the future?
I think that it would be incorrect for me to say influence the party's platform, because the party has a great platform. It really does. I mean, I'm on the platform committee, so if there were a way to do it, I would be able to do it being on the committee, but that's not what we're about. That's not what I'm trying to do. And what I want to do is more about God than it is the platform. And I really think that we have a great platform already. I think we could streamline it, make it less bureaucratic. Maybe some of it's a little wordy. Yeah. Combine some of the platforms, just say no more government. But I don't know that that we really have to change a whole lot.
All right, so let's talk about getting other Christians to join the Libertarian Party, because most, I think we would agree, are members of the Republican Party right now. So what's the message that you send to them to try to convince them that, hey, the Libertarian Party is a natural home for you, more than the Republicans, more than the Democrats? The Libertarian Party is where you need to be. How do you sell them on that?
I think that the Democrats and the Republicans are doing a good job of selling them on that without us even trying to invite those people to come into the party. People are tired of the drastic swings from the left to the right. It's the only way we're going to get back to a coalition government is if we have a strong third party. That's pretty much my elevator speech. Even if I never see a libertarian president in my lifetime, I'll spend the rest of my life advocating and getting ballot access or supporting candidates, whatever it takes for the Libertarian Party to succeed.
Yeah, it's always the frustrating thing about the Libertarian Party. I mean, there have been people who've been in this party since the 70s and 80s. I can't even imagine having been in this party for that long. I've been in the party since 2016, and it's already got me kind of burnt out. It's just the ups and downs, the fighting between the different factions. Nobody's a real libertarian. Everyone's a fake. It's exhausting sometimes. So how do you keep from it getting you burnt out and staying motivated to keep with it?
Well, you can only do what you can do, and you can only do what you can do right now. So you're doing a great job right now. I mean, you're getting people's messages out there. That's huge. And education is one of the biggest things that we can do. It's one of the reasons I'm a huge fan of the Cato Institute. They, on a daily basis, Caleb Brown's calm, reasonable voice getting the message of libertarianism out when all these talking heads are just shouting at people every day about what you have to believe in order to be the right type of person. Libertarians, we don't care how you come at politics. We're going to tell you you're wrong, so it doesn't matter where you're coming from.
Right. So like right now, Donald Trump has a big lead in evangelical Christians right now. And we may say that's completely ridiculous. Why would evangelicals support Donald Trump? But it seems to be the way it is. How do we get them away from him? And what kind of candidate would be necessary to get voters like that to look at the Libertarian Party instead of him?
I think we need somebody that's young and charismatic, someone that can talk to people and has some experience in leadership in some way. I really like for this presidential cycle, for those that have announced so far, I really like Ken Armstrong. He's got a great speaking voice, and he's very intelligent, and he has a lot of experience. He can speak to people where they are. We went around to the community here while he was in the area and did a whistle stop tour, and he was just able to speak to people right where they were. And that's the kind of candidate that we need, someone that can actually get the message out there without alienating half the crowd.
All right, so you already have a table at the convention coming up this year. Where do you see the caucus going post-convention?
Well, hopefully we'll have a good sign up of people that are interested in learning more about us or joining us. And from there, we'll just have to see where it goes. Can't predict the future, but if you look at the floor map, we're next to Outright, and we're across the aisle from DCRIM, sex workers DCRIM. So, we're on the corner right with everybody else.
Awesome. Do you guys have any relationship with the other caucuses in the party? Because I like to see where the different caucuses see themselves being aligned with the different factions. Like the Mises Caucus and the Radical Caucus, they're like buddy right now. Some of the other caucuses get along with each other. Who's your best friend and your worst nemesis in the party?
I don't know if I have a nemesis. If I do, they haven't shown themselves yet. The co-founder, Victor Hinojosa, he was our secretary, and he was actually supporting and was campaign manager for the chair of the Outright caucus and his candidacy in Texas. I actively support the sex workers plank in the DCRIM of prostitution. I think that anytime that you try to ban something or create a prohibition, you're just creating a black market. It's not making something go away. It's just putting it in the shadows where it's more dangerous.
Oh, awesome. So if someone wants to get more information on your caucus, how would they go about doing that?
Well, our website is Christian Liberty Caucus.com. We have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. They're welcome to reach out to me on Facebook. I'm only on Facebook once 1 year in 4 because I left in 2016 and came back for the presidential year. So not a fan of Facebook at all.
See, I would like to get away from it more, but I do this show live on Facebook. So I got to do the Facebook thing. I can't get away from it. So you're talking about your bank account trouble, so there's probably not a way to donate online. Is that correct?
That's correct. But right now, I would honestly prefer that if someone wants to support what we're doing, that they do it directly through the Libertarian Party right now, because we have a lot of ballot access fights that we need to support. We're very fortunate in Ohio. In 2018, we regained our ballot access here. It cost $250,000 for us to get ballot access in Ohio. So those fights are very real, and that is where the rubber meets the road. So until we're able to support them through our own donations, I would just ask people to please donate to lp.org, or if you're in a state that has an active party like the Libertarian Party of Ohio, lpo.org, you can donate there. Or any of our candidates, Armstrong 2020 is Ken Armstrong's presidential campaign website, or like I mentioned, Kevin Kahn, it's KAHN 4, the number 4, Congress, if you are interested in supporting someone here in Ohio.
See, that's one thing that I will forever be grateful for Nebraska Senator Laura Epke for, is she made it so that we will never, ever have to fight for ballot access again in this state. So I will never know the joys of going door to door for signatures or standing at a street corner trying to get people to sign up so that we can get back on the ballot. We're on the ballot so long as we stay above 10,000 voters, and we're about 15,000 right now. So there's no chance, well, no real chance of falling below that number. All right, so we're running up on 30 minutes now. So is there anything else you want to say to our audience before I let you go?
Like I said, if you're interested, or even if you're not a Christian, if your friend or relative is a Christian and you're like, hey, the Christians are joining the Libertarians, everybody's leaving the other parties, you know, tell them about us, and maybe they will look at libertarianism a different way. And until we're able to accept donations, please, again, just go ahead and support lp.org or your state organization like lpo.org. And just get some people on the ballot and make sure that we have choices, because, again, a coalition government is the only way we're going to fix this country. And
see, that's the biggest benefit I think a Christian caucus in the party would be to show Christians, and this is still a very large Christian population in this country, that the GOP is not their natural home. You don't need to be with the Democrats. You don't need those old parties. There's a home right here in the Libertarian Party, and we can grow this thing and reduce government the right way. So thank you very much for coming on. It's been a very informative episode. I'm glad that we were able to sit down and have this conversation. So once again, thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. That was Helen Gilson of the Christian Libertarian Caucus. And remember, everybody, if you want to see future episodes of the Road to Liberty podcast, you have to subscribe to the Think Liberty podcast. That's where all the new episodes are going to go. So if you listen to our Monday night interviews, if you listen to Token and Hods, or you listen to Observations on Friday nights, if you want to hear the audio versions of the episodes, you have to go to Think Liberty. It's going to be on their podcast stream and on their YouTube channel. All right. So our old feed that we used to use, it's not going to be used anymore. All right. All our old episodes, you'll be able to see them there, but all the new stuff is going to be on Think Liberty. All right, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us on this episode. Remember, go to think-liberty.com. That's the website we use now. And you'll have a good night. And we'll see you on Token and Hobbs tomorrow night. Good night, everybody.